Hi Pile One, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, this is Soul Purpose Activation. My name is Michelle. We are back with another future spouse pick a card reading. And this time we're looking at clues that you're about to meet them, that your paths are about to cross. And then we're also going to look at first meeting, like how you're possibly going to meet them, what environment you're going to be in, and then like what first impressions are going to be. I actually do have more lengthier future spouse readings for just the first impression and then just how are you going to meet, but we're going to be putting kind of snapshots all in one pick a card reading for you guys. Okay, super excited. All right, so pile one, you chose the Malachite and Chrysocolla. I think I said chrysocolla, I don't know, but you chose this pretty stone here that you felt drawn to. And we're going to get right into your reading. Let's see. And of course, Malachite, you guys, is specifically for like heart chakra healing and stuff like that. And I'm not really sure what chrysocolla is for. You might want to look that up, though, because that could be a clue. Another clue could be part of the reading, how you're going to meet them. Okay. Water is coming through. Interesting. Okay, so the overall energy for what's going to be happening in your life kind of clues to what's going to be going on in your life when you and your future spouse cross paths. And I do want to emphasize here, you guys, that I'm specifically looking for information where you're going to be able to decipher when this is going to happen. So, you know, if we're not going to look at things that you have been dealing with every day for the last 5 years. Okay, so if I'm telling you like it's, you know, you're having a rough patch and stuff like that, it's going to be a time in life that's new. It's not something that you've been experiencing every single day. I'm looking for information that is specifically clues, okay? And if you've been dealing with something for the last 5 years, that's not really a clue. It's like, I've been doing that, right? Okay, so just so you know. We got Pluto showing up, which Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio, one of them anyway. We got Tarot, we got Judgment here. A phrase is I am power. And let's see, keywords are transformation, evolution, alchemy, afterlife, rebirth, wealth, and power. So something may be happening fairly important. Scorpio, some transit in Scorpio could be very important. Like an alignment in Scorpio or something like that, okay? There's something about Scorpio, the placement of Scorpio and astrological transits happening in Scorpio around the time that this connection is going to manifest, okay? And it's not necessarily that you have to have aspects in Scorpio. This is just talking about, this is kind of a clue, some kind of a, you know, planetary alignment, astrological alignment, an important transit or something like that. That's just a clue that's popping up. Otherwise, it's like you're going to be going through some pretty powerful transformations in your life. And again, you guys, if you've been going through transformations for the last 5 to 10 years, this is not that, okay? This is something completely different. We got Lady here. And then we got greener grass and worth. Yeah, so this transformation that's going to be happening in your life may have to do with your own feminine energy, inner feminine, and it may be around healing self-worth issues. Really dealing with self-worth issues. With greener grass, I'm thinking about the grass being greener on the other side. You may be dealing with a breakup with someone where you may have been left for someone else. And it may not be that breakup happened recently. It's just like you're just now getting to the point where you're dealing with the emotional baggage or even the emotional trauma that resulted from being left for somebody else, okay? The focus here is on healing. And a lot of the times, you know, we can carry around this baggage for years and years and years before we finally learn how to process and heal it. So this is letting me know that your future spouse is going to be manifesting in, or the time that you and your future spouse are finally going to meet is going to be around the time when you are finally putting the past behind you, like for real, like actually healing from it, not running away from it or avoiding it or stuffing it down, but you're actually going through a period of your life where you're doing the actual shadow work and facing the pain and the heartache and the bitterness and the resentment and all the heaviness that may have transpired and resulted from having that experience with that past person. Okay. All right, let's see what else is going on in your life. What's happening in Pile 1's life around the time? Give us some clues that. What's going on in Pile 1's life around the time they cross paths with their future spouse? I don't want it to pop out. We do got leadership coming out. Hold on. What's going on in Pile 1's life around the time they meet their future spouse? All right, we got marriage, and then we've got love offer. Pile 1, this is really interesting. And there's a couple of different messages that are coming through. You may actually be with somebody else. Maybe even, I don't know, maybe you think you've waited long enough. There's this feeling, Pile 1, that you may actually be dating, seriously dating and seriously committed to somebody else, maybe possibly even engaged. At the very least, you're entertaining love offers from other people. And it could also just be around the time maybe you're proposed to. It's like we're just narrowing down what's going on in your life when your actual future spouse shows up. But this is letting me know that's a really big clue. So if you are with somebody and the energy that's coming through about this relationship right here, okay, because marriage and love offer, this is not your future spouse, this is somebody else that you are entertaining marriage with, but I am getting this energy from you, Pile 1, or the energy that you may be in, is that you kind of know on a very deep level, this person really isn't the one and you're actually settling. And so with leadership, marriage, and love offer, this almost makes me feel like you're the one that might even propose marriage to somebody just because you're getting tired of waiting. Let's see. On leadership, we got high influence in business, stepping into a leadership role. You know your value and self-worth. That's a good one because that coincides with self-worth down here, using logic over emotions. There's just this feeling, Pile 1. Like I said, well, it's a general reading. I guess I didn't say that. This is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave whatever that doesn't. But whether or not you're the one that proposes or you're the one that just decides, you know what, we've been doing this for long enough, or I've been single long enough, let's, whatever the reason may be. That's around the time that your future spouse is going to be your actual future spouse, the person that you really want to be with. That's when they're going to actually manifest in. Okay. But we also do here have a job offer with leadership and job offer, and with marriage too. Okay, so here's another scenario. If you have a business, you may be looking at partnering with another business, or it could just be you deciding to, work for a different business, but there is kind of like a merging here with marriage. Okay, so if it's not you becoming engaged to a person for actual marriage, then it could just be that you are taking a leadership role. I'm hearing CEO, okay, for another company or for a different company than what you may be with now. There's kind of like a merging of corporate entities kind of thing, it feels like. Or it could also be that the company that you are working for is merging with another company. That's kind of a clue that your future spouse, like your guys' paths connecting, are actually right around the corner. And what's coming through right now for some of you is that that's actually how you're going to meet your future spouse. they may be partnered or part of the other company that your company is merging with. Okay. Nice. I mean, we're getting exact here. Oh, let's see. What else are we doing? Oh, we're going to look at first meeting. Okay. What's going to be going on? So there's kind of a clue about your first meeting. It may be work related. You may meet them at work or through work or, you know, some work related function or something like that. All right. How is pile 1 going to meet their future spouse? What's going to be happening? What brings about, like, give us the scene. What's going on? How do they meet? How do they meet? How does pile 1 meet their future spouse? How does pile 1 meet their future spouse? We got Chariot here coming out. How does pile 1 meet their future spouse? How does pile 1 meet their future spouse? We got this. So we have the Chariot, the 3 of Wands in reverse, and then we also have the Devil. So there is kind of this feeling, you guys, I don't know. Some of you, and I hate giving, you may not be too happy about whatever this merging is. If it is something having to do with work, I'm hearing layoffs. Well, I mean, we do have, look, we do have, so this is Capricorn energy with the Devil, but the overall energy here is transformation, it's rebirth, it's renewal. And then with the Chariot energy here, see, the 3 of Wands in the reverse position is all about, like, no more forward movement, or like your ship isn't coming in. Everything that you've worked for, it's like everything stops. And with the Devil energy on top of that, it's triggering a lot of, it's triggering a lot of emotional baggage. There's a lot of triggers that are being activated. So again, these are just clues to let you know, when and how you and your future spouse are going to meet. It's going to be, I'm not going to lie, pile 1, it feels like it's going to be during a kind of a difficult time in life that may be centered more around business, finances, career, job, and stuff like that. You may actually be looking for another job around the time that you and your future spouse meet. And with the Chariot here, it's almost like there's a race against time. For some of you, it could be that you might be laid off. And for others of you, it's just like, you're not happy with maybe the management that took over. And so you're trying really fast, to find another job. There's almost like a race against time. And with the Devil energy coming through, it's like it's not going to be a pleasant, it's like you meeting your future spouse is actually probably going to be the ray of sunshine during kind of a really trying time. During a point in your life where you're really having to face some really triggering events. Okay. And it could be with this lady over here. I mean, it's like the boss could be, an older female. Or an older female is running the show somehow. Let's clarify, though. How exactly are pile 1, how are they going to meet? How are they going to meet? So some of you could meet, during a job interview, during orientation, at work somehow. Yeah. It's going to be at the new place, okay? Whatever this is, it's the new place. I feel like you may be manifesting a better opportunity, and you're meeting your future spouse at work or through the company that you decide to partner with. It's not going to be the place that you leave, okay? All right, let's get into what ooh, this is fun, you guys. First impressions, those are always fun. I'm going to get your first impression of them and then their first impression of you. Let's pile 1's first impression. First initial impression. of their future spouse when they meet them. What's pile one's first initial impression? First impression. Pile one's first impression of their future spouse. Pile one's first impression of their future spouse, please. Let's see what we got here. We got confusion. We'll clarify these and figure out why this is. First impression, incoming abundance, and then we also have speak up. Okay, so pile one, this is going to be your first impression of your future spouse. Let's find out what their first impression of you is going to be. What is pile one's future spouse? What is your first impression of pile one? What is your first impression of pile one? What is your first impression of pile one? All right. We got clean up, steps, and then free yourself. They see you as a go-getter. Like, that's their first impression of you. Very organized, very tidy, clean, and organized. Very put together, on top of their game. That's their first impression of you. Clearing away whatever gets in your way, but not in a cutthroat way. It's just they see you as somebody that goes after what they want. That's their first initial impression of you. Clean, organized, go-getter, go after what they want. And then your first impression of them is not so direct and straightforward. We're going to find out exactly what it is you're confused about with this person. You are seeing them as very successful. Maybe boss energy. And they're very vocal. You see them as very vocal. No problems with communication in terms of what they're wanting, stuff like that. But we're going to find out what exactly it is are you feeling confused about. You may be confused about who they are. Like, if you meet them at work, you may be confused about what their place is at work, but we'll find out. Yeah, they may hold like a supervisory type of a position at your job, at the new place. They may be a boss of some kind, because we have here reliable structure and foundation. So you do see them, so not only do you see them as successful, you see them as somebody that's very hardworking, very reliable, a person of their word. So what's the confusion? What's pile one confused about? And that could just be like, it may be like, you know, especially if you're brand new to this business, you may just be feeling confused about like, what's your role here, right? Who are you to this company? What is pile one confused about here? What is pile one confused about in terms of their future spouse? King of Pentacles, yeah. You're kind of, so this person kind of carries, so your confusion really comes with this person. They seem or they carry that energy of a high-level boss. For some of you, I'm actually feeling like you may be going into this new business as some kind of a boss, right? And you meet this person and what's unclear to you is like, what's their role in the business? And you're confused as to, is this person my employee or are they my boss, right? We're talking about very first impressions, okay? Like before y'all ever you know, even get to the dating stage. So you're confused about who this person is to you in terms of workspace, right? And I love that. I mean, it's literal. So what this is saying is that I'm feeling like this person may not actually be your boss. They may actually be a colleague, or they may actually be like below you in terms of hierarchy at the, you know, at the job place. Okay. All right. So now what are we gonna do? See if there's anything else that wants to come up. Let's find out why speak up here. Why is speak up and stand your ground here? I got the King of Cups in reverse. Interesting energy. Yeah, your person's very vocal. Or your future spouse, okay? When you first meet them, like initially you see them as being very easy to communicate. Like this person, the fact that we have these two energies, we've got King showing up for their energy, but it's in the reverse. So it's almost like it's not fully developed yet. But for the King of Pentacles in reverse, in the context of this reading, that's just letting me know the hierarchy, like in this new job environment that you're at, I feel like they may actually, you may be their boss. I do feel they're boss material, but they're just not there yet. And as far as speaking up goes with the King of Cups in reverse, this person just doesn't have any problem communicating even their feelings, whatever their feelings are. And you may see them also, like you may hear them talk about maybe feeling overwhelmed with what they're doing, too much caseload or too much work or not enough help, you know, stuff like that. Let's see why free yourself is down here. Why is free yourself down here? Community. Interesting. They're really seeing you in a very favorable light. Like their initial first impression is almost kind of like they know who you are. They know the role that you're playing, and they almost are seeing you as this person, maybe a lot more free-spirited than what they're used to as far as, you know, people in whatever role you're getting ready to take in that business. They're actually looking forward to working with you. Their first impression is they look forward to working with you, to partnering with you. They're seeing you as fun. They see you as a fun personality. That's their first impression of you. Okay. All right. Let's see. What are we doing as far as timing goes? All right. We are going to just go ahead and wrap it up. I am going to see if we can nail down some timing. Let's use this one over here. What can we get in terms of timing for pile 1 when this connection is going to manifest? Pile 1. When is this connection going to manifest? Can we get some possible timing? Oh, we got 3. Let's see what we got here. We got a fixed moon, a waning moon, and then we have a trine. So, something with the moon. And we got fixed moon, and then we have Scorpio. So this could be happening during a Scorpio waning moon. Okay, a Scorpio moon is kind of being highlighted. Okay, specifically for some of you, it's during when the moon is in the waning phase. Could just be also Scorpio season. And like I said, there's something is coming through about Scorpio. You know what was funny was when I pulled this card, you guys, and I was talking about Scorpio aspects. And I know, like, from the time that I'm filming this video, we already had a lunar eclipse in Scorpio. Was it a lunar eclipse, or I can't remember what it was, but of course, you know, eclipses, but you know, it always involves, doesn't it always involve the sun? I mean, always involve the moon. I can't remember. So I mean, you may have already met this person during the lunar Scorpio lunar eclipse. Was just, you know, it happened not too long ago. You know, but this is a timeless reading, so that keeps coming up, some kind of an eclipse in Scorpio. Okay, if it's not the lunar eclipse, it could be a solar eclipse in Scorpio. It could also be just some aspects, some alignments happening within Scorpio transits. Could be just overall transit, could be something that's happening within your own natal chart as well. Okay, but there is something heavy with Scorpio energy, especially with transformation. Now I'm seeing the Death card. Okay, so something ending, something new beginning, which we've been talking about here pretty much from the very beginning. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and close out the reading here. I hope that it resonated. You guys, if it did resonate, do me a huge favor. Make sure you are smashing that like button for me. That keeps YouTube happy. Also, comment below. Let me know what pile you picked, what you thought of the reading. That makes me happy. Share and subscribe if you feel led to do so. That makes everybody happy. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye, you guys. Hi, Pile 2. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, this is Soul Purpose Activation. My name is Michelle. I'm your reader, and we are back with another Future Spouse Pick a Card reading. And this time, we are actually picking up on several different things. First, I want to give you guys clues as to what's happening in your life around the time you and your future spouse's paths cross. And just like I told Pile 1, this is the stuff that I'm looking for are actual clues. So it's not going to be anything like, you know, if I say that you have been going through some really trying times and it's a time of transformation and you're like, I've been going through transformation for the last 5 years. Obviously, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for things where you're like, okay, you can actually pinpoint, like, when is this going to happen? It's not going to be everyday thing, right? Everyday things. We're looking for real clues. And then we're going to also look at, just hallmarks as to what's going on in your life around the time you can expect this person to manifest, as well as how are you guys going to meet? You know, are you going to meet at a party? Are you going to meet at a show? You know, dating app, whatever, stuff like that. And then what are your first initial impressions going to be? And I actually have separate videos for each thing, you know, clues and then first impressions and how are you going to meet, right? I have 3 separate future spouse pick a card readings for each one, but we're just going to kind of have a fun little mosh of all the things, okay, put together. Just keep in mind, you guys, this reading is general, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If you want to book a private future spouse reading with me, just check the description box below for details. So you guys picked the pink tourmaline and quartz, also known as rubellite, I believe. Okay, but I'm always like, it's pink tourmaline and quartz. Very beautiful healing stone, actually. So there may be something about healing, maybe from a relationship or something like that that's not going quite right. But we're going to get the overall energy of what is going on. Yeah, so we got South Node here. We also have Dog, and then we have Vault with Secrets. All right, so South Node is familiar. It's what feels familiar. That it's kind of giving me, for some reason, it's giving me 6 of Cups energy, which is like childhood energy, feeling nostalgic. The South Node also deals with karmic paths, karmic gifts, gifts carried over from a previous lifetime, comfort zone, fallback position, easy but not fulfilling. Getting out of your comfort zone. Then we also have dog, which is like loyalty. It's really dependable, reliable. It's known. It's predictable. And then we got vault and secrets. We're going to have to figure out where that one is coming into play. Vault and secrets. Interesting. Okay, let's see what's going on. I actually want to see. We'll get this out and then I'll see if I need to clarify that vault right there. See, like the dog card and the South Node card, they make sense. South Node is familiar. Dog, we're talking about loyalty, stability, what's known. I'm also hearing man's best friend. You may be feeling nostalgic over a pet. I don't want to say this, but for some of you, I am picking up, there may be something about a pet passing away and feeling very nostalgic about it. And what I'm seeing is like those pets' ashes going into, not really a vault. Well, I guess you could. What do they call those things? Urns, right? Yeah. Here we got time off. What's going on in pile 2's life when they meet their future spouse? Around the time they meet their future spouse. Okay, let's grab one more. We have the unseen pink diamond. Okay, you guys, and I'm gonna just give my condolences from the get-go, but I do feel somebody very close to you, I feel, for the vast majority of you, I do feel it's a pet that you may have had for a very long time. A lot of you, it may be since childhood. Doesn't have to be a dog, okay? Could be a dog, cat. But I feel for a lot of you, it's going to be a pet that has been around for a long time. Somebody, and it doesn't have to be a pet even. It can be an actual person. I'm feeling very uncomfortable, but this is the reading. This is what it is. It's going to be during a time where you're maybe taking time off, trying to recover and process the feelings of, losing this really important pet or person in your life. Somebody that was really, with pink diamond here, someone that you're very, very fond of. And you probably already know who I might be talking about. I do feel like it's going to be very unexpected. No, they're saying for some of you, it's not going to be that unexpected at all. That doesn't make it any less, sad. What is going to be happening though, is for whatever reason, this sweet soul, whether it's a pet or a person, is actually going to be working behind the scenes, bringing the two of you together. For some of you, it could be a sibling too. It's somebody from your childhood, very near and dear to your heart. Vault and secrets. Yeah, for some of you, it may be somebody that you haven't seen for a while, but for whatever reason, you only really think about them in memories, and then maybe you hear of their passing. And that's what vault and secrets means. It's like you haven't had an ongoing relationship for this person for a while, but maybe you hear of their, I'm hearing untimely passing, and it's like it's too close to home, that kind of a thing. And the time that your connection with your future spouse manifests in is during a time where you're kind of taking off. You may not actually be going on vacation, but it's like you're doing something to, you're kind of in this mode of recovering, repairing, feeling very nostalgic over, you know, this person. Okay, we are gonna get now, how are you guys going to meet? Let's see, what's gonna be going on? What do I want to do here? How are you gonna meet? Yeah, let's do it this way. How? How is pile 2 and their future spouse actually going to meet? How are you guys going to meet? How are you guys going to meet? Lovers in reverse. That's what I was picking up on. Okay. It may be through mutual friends is how you and this person are going to meet. And this person may actually be like, so if the person over here that you're feeling nostalgic of that, you know, may be passing away, it may be a mutual friend of the two of you. I am picking up regardless whether it's a person or a pet. Okay, obviously, you know, pets don't have mutual friends. But I do feel you and this person do have mutual friends. You and your future spouse have mutual friends in common. If you don't now, you will at some point. And that's how you actually meet. With the Lovers in reverse, and then here, this can also, the Three of Cups can also stand for reunion. This may be like an old ex of yours. Maybe an old friend of yours that, you know, you never really saw romantically. This also could be somebody from your past. Your future spouse could actually be somebody you knew from childhood. Okay? Like I said, it's a general reading, so that's not going to be for everybody. I do feel, though, look, with the Ace of Wands in reverse, yeah. This feels like something that never really quite got off the ground in the past. Could have been a very brief fling. And with the Ace of Wands in reverse, this may have been somebody that you were either, you know, friends with, somebody you may have briefly dated, but, you know, things you didn't go all the way, physically speaking, or if you did, it's like things didn't really, I don't feel like the relationship with this person ever really got off the ground. If you guys did date. If not, but this was somebody, though, that you feel like a very, with the Lovers in reverse, let's see why that's there. I do feel like this may have been somebody at some point that you were romantically interested in, but for some reason it just didn't work out. Like it never went down that road. You know, the Lovers in reverse could also talk about, you know, choices needing to be made. And, you know, the choice that was made was we're not going to go that route. We're just going to be friends here. Overall, this is letting me know that the way that you and your future spouse are going to meet, largely, for the vast majority of you, are going to be through mutual friends, mutual acquaintances, stuff like that. Okay? Why is the Lovers in reverse here? Somebody. Okay, so I feel like the way that you two meet, what is this energy coming through? Hold on. Let me get the Ace of Wands in reverse. Why is the Ace of Wands in reverse here? This feels very platonic at first. Okay, so it's not going to be anything where like you two are being set up by someone. Look at that. We got the Empress coming out with the Ace of Wands in reverse. It feels like this person, there may be something, I don't know. I don't know if you're with someone when you meet or if they're with someone when you meet, like romantically. And it's almost this feeling of like, I shouldn't be attracted to this person, but I am. And they're having to shut down these feelings, this physical attraction, this passion, right? Because it doesn't feel like you and or them are initially available. I mean, it could be that y'all meet through, you know, like if you're dating somebody, maybe you know this person, like maybe they know whomever you're dating, okay? Or if they're dating somebody, maybe you know the person that they're dating, and it's like, I shouldn't be attracted to this person, but I am. And it's almost like you're having to shut down those feelings, one or both of you. Interesting. Things just got juicy. Things just got juicy. All right, let's see. Let's find out what first impressions we got here. With the Empress here too, it could be that you might know their mom. They might know your mom or grandmother, grandmother, aunt, somebody like that. You might know their baby mama if they got babies. Okay, let's see. Pile 1, what is your first impression going to be of them? What's your first impression going to be of them? Pile 1, what is your first impression going to be of them? Your very first impression upon meeting them, what is that going to be? What's your first impression of your future spouse going to be upon meeting them? Wow, we got all this loyalty. Interesting. What's pile 1's first impression? The first thing that's coming to mind, you guys, is, okay, so first right off the bat, your first impression of your future spouse is how loyal they are, how trustworthy they are, how they honor you, right? But what's coming up is you may meet this person and they may be like somewhat in a committed relationship or at least exclusive with somebody, but maybe they're not with that person when you first initially meet and you guys kind of hit it off, right? There's chemistry there, there's sparks there, and I don't know, maybe you ask them for their number, or they kind of get this idea that you're really vibing high off on them, but they, you know, they're respectable enough to let you know, I'm seeing somebody right now. And so, you know, rather than taking that personally, it's like you get this air with them where they're like, oh, this person is, you know, they're not actually they're not a player. They're not like that. They're not taking people's numbers while they're seeing someone else. And so that really kind of lets you know how loyal they are when they're in romantic relationships. We got the unseen. Let's see. All right, so pile 1. Painful feelings. Huh. Interesting. There is this feeling, though, that you're catching on that this person isn't too happy. I'm not going to say that it's because of, like, the romantic relationship that they're in, but they're going through a difficult time emotionally for some reason. They may have just lost somebody very near and dear to them as well. You know, for some of you, if this is speaking about someone, like a person that is, you know, passing on, and both of you know them at the same time, like, you know, you guys are mutual friends of that person that passed on, that would make sense why, you know, they're sad. This could mean that you might meet them at a memorial, you might meet them at a funeral, a memorial dinner, something like that. You know, but your first impression of them, you know, they're very sad about something. Let's get one more card. What is pile 1's first impression of their future spouse when they meet? You really like this person's attitude, though, the way that they look at things, turning over a new leaf. Interesting. And we'll clarify some of this a little bit more. Okay, now we're going to get their first impressions of you. What is pile 2's future spouse? What's your first impression of pile 2? What's your first impression of pile 2? Something about your communication style. They like the way that, like, you communicate very well. Maybe you're very well spoken. They may like the sound of your voice. Maybe you sing. Stubborn. They may feel like you might be a little bit closed off for some reason. And it, you know, and putting things in context, if somebody that you very close to you that you know has passed away, you know, they may be picking up on you're trying to, like, not just fall apart, right? Trying to not keep it all, you're trying to hold it together. There's this feeling that your future spouse may actually notice you before you notice them. Because there's almost this feeling like you have a wall up. Let's get more. Let's get one more. What are your first impressions of pile 2? Traditions, moral values, family, and roots. You remind them of somebody. And with the Empress energy here, it could be, you may remind them of their childhood. You may remind them of their mom. You may remind them of, you know, somebody very important to them. You may remind them of this person, you know, if this is somebody that you meet where a mutual friend of yours has passed away. They also see you as, for whatever reason, being very traditional. We're gonna let's see. We're gonna clarify and see what this is here for. Okay. Why is turning over a new leaf? You see that your person overall just has a really good attitude about things. The way they see things is very optimistic. We've got the 9 of Cups coming through. And so, even when they're feeling sad, you know, dealing with painful feelings, the way they're handling it is just a lot different maybe than anybody else is handling it. You just see them they have a very optimistic way to them. We've got Jupiter and Pisces coming up. So they could be Sagittarius, they could be Pisces. They're very happy-go-lucky. You see them as very optimistic, very positive. Yeah, especially in light of what may be happening as a result of the two of you actually meeting, or what led to the two of you meeting. Let's see. Let's go to stubborn. Why is stubborn here? Why is stubborn here? What are their first impressions of you? Why is stubborn here? Interesting. If this is somebody from your childhood, it was almost like you're having to go back and revisit a place you didn't want to really go back and revisit. That may be why they sense that you're closed off. It's like, you know, in other words, like the scenario that's coming through is like some of you may have grown up in a different place than where you're living now. Like your childhood home or your childhood city or whatever is not the same as where you may be living now. which kind of makes a lot this with the traditions and morals and family roots. It's almost like they still kind of see that you're still very traditional. It's almost like you tried to escape it, but now it's like, you know, you're having to come back with the 8 of Cups in reverse. Like this was the only thing that could have gotten you to come back. You may have resisted, you know, visiting wherever this place is at. We're going to get one more for that one, though. I just wanted to pop out the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Yeah, which is like, no, not wanting to come back. But that's also like, you know, in this context, it's like somebody not having to, but passing away before their time. Why is stubborn here? Hard-headed, talking to a brick wall. Why is stubborn here? Why is this here in terms of that's your first impression of pile 2? There's this energy of they see you as you're not somebody that's going to do something that they don't want to do. Nobody can make you do what you don't want to do. Then the only reason why you're returning is because there's an unfinished business, and it took this for you to come back with the, and you may have been gone from this place for a very long time. There's almost this feeling of like, if it wasn't for this, I wouldn't come back. Like there's, you know, you would not come back. It's almost as if you guys are like, you know, feeling very antagonistic towards going back to where it is you came from. Not feeling too happy about it, not even really looking forward to it. You're not really doing it out of obligation because you do miss the person, right? But there is kind of this sense of I don't want to deal with it. I don't really want to deal with it. With Vault and Secrets here, I'm hearing family secrets. There may be some family secrets. You're just not, you know what I mean? It's just, yeah, it's your childhood home, but it never really felt like home, what you would think a home felt like. Why is traditions here? You remind them of somebody. You remind them of somebody from their childhood. What the heck? It may be that you remind them of this person, or you're reminding them of, you know, like you're trying to run away from whatever traditions they are, but it's like, you know, you can take the person out of the city, but you can't take the city out of the person. That kind of a thing. It's like, let me clear up this energy here real quick. What is going on with this Two of Swords with tradition? Yeah. Almost like you're carrying on a family tradition of having to be resilient. You know, it's almost like the struggle in this fight, and it's like, you know, you're picking up and you're carrying on that tradition. So they're kind of seeing you in the same, I don't want to say in the same light, but I'm trying to figure out how to put this so that it doesn't sound, because I'm not picking up this energy that your future spouse is looking at you in an unfavorable light, but there is this thing where it's like, wherever it is you came from, whatever family dynamic that you grew up in, even if, you know, you've tried to run away from it, there's still remnants of it within you that is activated by revisiting your actually, like the past, revisiting the place that you've come from. Why is the indecision here? What are we undecided about? It's funny, though, that we have here being torn between two relationships. Because I was just saying that you may, it feels like you and your future spouse may be meeting at a time when both of you, one of you or both of you may be involved, you know, in a romantic relationship already. This could be talking about carrying on a tradition for those of you that already know your future spouse and you've known them from before. Where this almost is feeling like, you know, oh, we're doing that again. You know, we're continuing on. It's almost like it's a tradition of playing cat and mouse with each other, playing hard to get, acting like, you know, not really knowing what we want, that kind of a thing. Like that part of your dynamic hasn't really changed. Hope that's making sense. All right, we're gonna try and see if we can figure out some timing for you guys when the two of you may be meeting, like some actual timing for pile 2. See if we can find some, nail down some timing. A mutable moon. Let's nail down some timing. A wolf moon. Let's get one more. Oh wow, it seems like the moon cycles are going to be very important. We've got a mutable moon, so the moon could be in one of the mutable signs, which is going to be Sagittarius, Gemini, Virgo, and Pisces. Okay, so it's when the two of you can meet. It could also happen during a black moon or during the wolf moon, which, when's the wolf moon? Is the wolf moon in November or October? That's just kind of giving you guys, and then a black moon, I believe, is when, a black moon is the second new moon in 1 month. It doesn't happen too often. I think maybe once a year or once every couple of years, I think there's a black moon. And I think a black moon is when there is two new moons in 1 month is a black moon. All right, you guys. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up here. I hope that it resonated, you guys. If it did, do me a favor, make sure you're smashing that like button for me. That makes YouTube happy. Make sure that you're commenting below. Let me know what pile you picked, and also let me know what you thought of the reading. That makes me happy. And then comment and subscribe, or I should say subscribe and share if you feel led to do so. That makes everybody happy, okay? And I'll see you guys at your next reading. Thanks, pile 2. Hi, pile 3. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Michelle, and this is Soul Purpose Activation, and we are back with another future spouse pick a card reading. This time, you guys, it's kind of a mishmash of information, but it's all about you meeting your future spouse, your guys' paths crossing, okay, for the first time. So we're going to be looking at a few different things. So we're going to be looking at the clues. What's going to be going on in your life around the time that they come in, and we're going to be looking for actual clues, not things that you deal with, you know, everyday life. So I'm not, you know, if I say something like, for instance, like I told pile 1 and pile 2, like, you know, if you're been on a healing journey and things have been super, you know, difficult for you for like 5 years, and obviously we're looking for information above and beyond that to let you know what special things are going to be happening, things that are not everyday life kind of things. That way, you know, you'll know when that time is coming near. Then we're also going to be looking at how you and your future spouse are going to be meeting. You know, is it going to be through friends? Is it going to be out and about? Maybe through a dating app? What's going to be happening? You know, right? How are you guys going to meet for the first time? And then what are your first impressions of each other going to be? Now, I do have 3 separate future spouse readings where I take each one, and each one is its own topic in each video. And so, you know, you can check those out in the future spouse playlist if you just kind of want a more drawn out reading that way. Otherwise, we're just going to hop right in and get this party started. Just keep in mind, you guys, this is a general reading. Take what resonates, leave behind anything that doesn't. Check the description box below if you want to book a private reading with me where I'm tapping in specifically to the energy of your future spouse. Okay, so pile 3, you chose the blue lace agate palm stone. I love this one. So calming. So calming. And then we're going to get the overall energy of what is happening in your life. We got Aries. We got pawn and victim. And then we also have key. Interesting. So yeah, the obvious would be like this could be happening. You may meet them in Aries season. Okay. So that would be what, the last half of March, the first half of April. This is also letting me know too, Aries is kind of like the pioneer. You know, they kind of start the zodiac off. And so you may be in the beginning of something brand new, like a whole new path in life. Okay, but we're going to clarify these energies. And then we've got key and pawn here. And we'll see how these factor into your reading, okay? All right. Give me some more information about what's going to be happening in pile 1's life around the time they meet their future spouse. You may be buying a new home. You may be relocating somewhere at the time that around the time you meet. You could be buying a new car. We got abundance. Got unfinished. I am picking up it may be during a time of transition. Let's get one more card for pile 3. What's going to be happening in pile 3's life around the time they meet their future spouse? Yeah, I feel like you're on to bigger and better things. Like I said, it could be you're moving, you know, you're buying a new home. Maybe you're just, you know, relocating from one place to the next, buying a new car, something like that. It almost feels though like there's a catalyst to having to relocate. That may not be the best. It may not feel the best, at least. I feel like there's kind of, I don't want to say a double-edged sword, but that's kind of what's coming up. It's like you're starting off this whole new journey in life, but then you're having to leave something behind. So honestly, the first thing that's coming up is like, you know, maybe leaving a marriage or breaking up or having to leave something really important behind. You know, but thankfully you've got something really exciting to look forward to kind of help you process leaving whatever it is behind that you're having to leave behind. And with unfinished, yeah, I am kind of seeing something like you weren't quite done. Maybe it wasn't really wrapped up in your head and in your heart, but it was like I had no other choice. I've got to go. I got to leave. This could be, you know, like I said, it could also involve like maybe relocating a business or starting a new business or something like that. But I am picking up on something tangible, something physical, right? A new building, a new home, a new car, something like that, where actual physical keys are involved. Okay, you guys. But it is a time like, you know, you are feeling very hopeful for your future, even though you're having to leave something or some things very important behind or someone, right? You're feeling very abundant. You're feeling very blessed. You're feeling very hopeful. You're in the midst of tying up loose ends, but you are having to leave some things some people, someone behind. Okay, so that's kind of giving you an idea of what is happening in your life around the time you cross paths. You know that that's when your future spouse is getting close, because that's what's going on in your life. Okay, all right, let's see. How do they meet? With Pawn here, I feel like something is very strategic about it too. I'm not picking up so much like a victim in terms of like, you know, you've been done wrong or that's why you have to move. It could very well be, but it's, you know, if something very strategic about the way you're making moves, the way you're moving forward. How do they meet? You guys may actually meet up through, oh, and this is really interesting. We got the Knight of Wands in reverse and the Page of Wands in reverse. You guys, I do think that you actually may end up meeting this person through some kind of a dating app or a dating service. Where you're having to deal with a lot of knights and pages, right? You meet them in the midst of having to deal with, and it's funny that we got the Knight of Wands in reverse and the Page of Wands in reverse, because it's like very immature, you know, that's kind of the reputation that dating apps have, okay? A dating app or a dating group, it doesn't have to be an app, it can be a group on social media, it could be a meetup or something like that, something for singles, right? And it's like you're almost knee deep in these people who are non-committal, very flighty, maybe even unreliable, kind of that player energy. And yeah, I do feel for the vast majority of of whoever's picked pile 3, I feel like y'all are going to meet your person, especially if you're relocating to a new place. I almost feel like it doesn't have to necessarily be a dating app. It could be just mutual groups of interest. But the fact that we got Lovers here and then the Knight and the Page of Wands, most of you are meeting your person through some kind of a singles dating kind of app or a group or a meetup or something like that. Doesn't necessarily have to be online. It can be just something local, right? You're meeting local people. All right, so what we're gonna do is get first impressions. What is pile 3's first impression of their future spouse? First impression. What is pile 3's first initial impression of their future spouse? Given the circumstances, I'm feeling pile 3. Pile 3. I'm feeling like you're not really quite sure what to make of your future spouse, because you haven't up to that point had a really great experience with the people that you're meeting through these apps or in these groups or through these meetups or whatever, whether they're online or in person. Yeah, see? Okay, so you see your person as being very dedicated to the work. We got quality time with togetherness and enjoyment and memories. They like a lot of the same things that you do. You guys share a lot of the same interests. And you like that they make time and they make space for you, even though you know, you may see them as having a very packed work schedule, but they may work some things around so that they can actually meet you, right? And your first impression of this person is that they value quality time, like not just texting, not just talking on the phone and online, like they actually want to be in your physical presence. That's really important to you for some reason, which I actually get, because like I said, you're used to these personalities through these singles apps and groups where maybe, people have been really flighty and unreliable, maybe, making, agreeing to dates and then never following up, not showing up and stuff like that. or, you know, having excuses and things. And then, you know, here you have this person who probably lets you know up front that they're a very busy person when it comes to their work. They may be their own boss. They could be a CEO. They may own their own business. But they're like, let me see what I can do. Maybe I can move around some meetings and stuff like that. And you're like, wow, you know, you think this to yourself. Wow, you would, you know, you do that for me, to meet me. They may remind you of somebody that you used to date too. We got memories here with old flame, reminiscing about how things used to be. And you guys could be bonding over like similar things from childhood, right? That's the first impression can be, you know, they listened to a lot of the same music that you did. They watched a lot of the same cartoons that you did. They have a lot of similar memories of childhood that you did, right? All right, so what is their first impressions of you? What are your first impressions of pile 3? Pile 3's future spouse. What are your first impressions of pile 3? Your initial first impression of pile 3. I don't think that's a bad thing though. We got snail's pace, sugarcoat. Let's get one more. What are pile 3's? What is your first initial impression of pile 3 when you meet? Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. We got wise here. Think smart and take your time. Yeah. So, their first impression of you is you're wanting to take it slow, right? Wanting to take it slow, not wanting to move things too fast. Not slow in terms of like, you know, you want to text forever for 2 months before you meet up in person, but slow in terms of like, you know, they know you're not necessarily looking for just a hookup. You're not going to want to just jump in bed, you know, and no, it doesn't really matter if you do or not, but they're just realizing you want to take it slow. That's your comfort level, right? That's your pacing. You want to get to know them well, right? And they feel like, as far as sugarcoating goes, they feel like you may not be telling them everything in terms of your past. Not that you're sugarcoating things. It's almost like you're not letting them know how bad things actually were. That's part of you taking things slow. It's like you're not necessarily an open book. I mean, you can be and you will be when you get to that certain point. But they are, I don't know if your person just kind of has this sixth sense, like they can kind of pick up when people are holding back or not telling, you know, the whole story, or, you know, just, you know, they feel like there's something beneath the surface that you're not willing at this point in time to touch on. But they see you as wise. They think you're smart, and I was going to say, like, they like the way that your mind works before this stuff came out. And here we got wise. They like the way that your mind works. They like the things that you talk about. They like the things that you're interested in. And I love that we got wise under memories, you know, talking about how your mind works. I feel like they're able to connect with you on a level they haven't been able to connect with other people in a while. And again, we're talking about first impressions, right? They picked this up about you very early on. So with sugarcoat here, it's almost like, you know, you may be wearing a smile, and you may be fairly, for the most part, you know, happy and happy-go-lucky and kind of, you know, trying to be optimistic about the future, but they're picking up on, there's almost a sadness that's underneath that you're not wanting to really show the world, right? It's not that, because we're talking about first impressions, you're not just going to go up to a random stranger that you just met and unload, you know, the last 20 years of your life on them. They can just tell. There's, you know, beneath that, you know, those sparkling eyes and that dazzling smile, they can tell there is some sadness there to some degree, maybe some disappointment, something like that. They pick up on that. And they know that you're very wise. They actually have a really good opinion about you. Let's see, what else are we doing? Now we're going to figure out, you guys, what kind of timing. Actually, no, I do want to clarify some of this stuff. I will do that. Let's clarify. What is sugarcoating here for? Why is sugarcoating here? So the first one out is the King of Cups. They can really tell that you got some really deep feelings. They can tell that you feel very deeply. Your person may actually be, your future spouse, pile 3, may actually be very highly empathic, because we're talking about what they're picking up on, or, you know, their first impressions of you. And I feel like their first impression of you is largely what they're able to energetically perceive. What do they call that? There's a gift. What's that gift called when you're able to... Discernment. There you go. They may actually be... they may have the gift of discernment. Discerning different energies. And so they're able to really pick up, you know, why you want to move at a snail's pace. Right? Or why you're wanting to sugarcoat everything. Not really like you're wanting to, but, you know, they're picking up on what's behind the smile. Okay? Let's get one more, though, for sugarcoat. They really want to get to know that part of you, though. And we are talking about your future spouse. Something about you really intrigues them from the very beginning, because they're picking up on these underlying energies and they want to know why. What's that from? Where does that come from? Why is that there? They find it very endearing to pile 3 that you are choosing to smile and have an optimistic outlook, and that you're choosing to focus on everything that you can feel grateful for, rather than focusing on the things that you may have had to leave behind, right? They find that very endearing, because they may be around a lot of people who are very pessimistic, or just who don't know how to do that, right? Let's get one more for sugarcoat, please. Yeah, with the 8 of Pentacles in reverse, it's like they're understanding, because it seems, this is what I'm saying, they have to have a very acute sense of discernment, because not everybody, very, very few people are picking this up about you. You don't have a problem not shutting off your feelings. That's not the words. You're not really shutting off your feelings. You're just kind of putting your best foot forward. You know, like I said, you're not just going to go to a random stranger and just start dumping your, you know, all your emotions and your traumas and, you know, your hard times and your difficult feelings and stuff, right? But they're seeing you as someone that's like, you know, you must have, they're picking this up. You must have had a lot of experience having to cover up the painful things that you have been feeling, because it's looking effortless. Like you're not having to work very hard at appearing joyful and happy and optimistic, despite feeling all of these heavy, heavy emotions like underneath the bottom, right? Your person's very perceptive, very, very perceptive to the inner workings, inner energy, you guys. That is interesting. That is interesting. Okay, we are going to move on to timing to see if we can get an idea of when this is going to happen. Right away. Whoa. Right away. Blood moon. And I can't remember what season or what month the blood moon is. If you guys know, put it in the description box below. Pile 3, let us know what month a blood moon usually is in. But here we got beginnings, endings. So it's definitely, this is manifesting during a time when you're starting a whole new path of life. Here we got the wolf moon. I think pile 2 had the wolf moon, and I think the wolf moon is like, what, in October or November? We got the blood moon, we got the wolf moon. Isn't the blood moon like in October and then the wolf moon in November, or do I have those switched? One more for timing. The 6th house. So that could be, let's see, I look at the number 6, but also the ruler of the 6th house is Virgo. So it could be during Virgo season, which is going to be the last half of August, the first half of September. Okay, you guys. All right, we are going to end the reading there. I hope that it resonated, and if it did, you guys, do me a favor. Make sure you are smashing that like button for me. That keeps YouTube happy. Also, comment below. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what pile you picked. That makes me happy. And then share and subscribe if you feel led to do so. That makes everybody happy, okay? I love you guys so much. I'll see you guys at your next reading.